Boom! Hello everyone, hello and welcome one and all to the Geek Battle show here on the Xstreamed Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, the Geek Battle YouTube channel and the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel. So wherever you're watching, make sure you smash that subscribe button, but it's intro time.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel. The cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream. Nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dad's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. Email Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Marvel, and Disney loves Blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6, and everyone watch out, cause oh shit is sick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Dr. Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Yes, so hello and welcome to Geek Battle. Today on the show we're going to be discussing all kinds of fun and geeky stuff. For me personally, I don't know why I didn't put it in the title of the show. Resident Evil 9 has been shown off. That's very exciting to me and all my inner geekness. But Superman tickets are on sale. There's even more castings for the Harry Potter TV series been announced and revealed. And there's and a little thing called the Nintendo Switch 2 came out the other day. So we're going to cover all of this, plus so much more. I'm sure there's going to be a load of Marvel. Maybe no Doctor Who today. Maybe no Doctor Who ever again. Who knows?
It has finally happened.
It'll be back. Right, so let's very quickly do the introduction round. Say hello to the people and give an interesting geek trivia fact if you have one. Tim.
Hey, it's Tim from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Thanks for having me on today. Very interesting Geek Battle fact is that the movie Aliens, like the first movie Alien, heavily influenced the writers for The Expanse and the writers for the TV show The Expanse, which is pretty cool. One of the things I really liked about The Expanse is it feels like each season has a little bit of a different theme. Chapter 4 felt more like a Western than the others, and I think Chapter 2 was more of like a horror. So if you ever check out The Expanse, you should check out how the different seasons are written and how the characters are developed through that.
Okay, yeah, good. I have not seen The Expanse. But speaking of The Expanse of the universe, we need to find out what's happening in the world of Sri Lanka. Capelthave, say hello to the people.
Hail from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodiles, and also monkeys. It's me, Capital Dave, and my geek fact for today is 40k one because that's where I roll back to whenever I don't have a cool geek fact prepared. So, well, I said before many times that there are chaos gods in the 40k universe and they feed off aspects of things even if you're not praying to them. The best option you can do is always funnel your psychic energy towards something else. The Elder has their own pantheon. The humans, even though the Emperor of Mankind is an atheist, we funnel all that stuff to him. The orcs, however, have their own version of the gods, which is two gods called Gork and Mork. One is brutally cunning, and the other one is cunningly brutal. And we can't tell which is which. They're constantly fighting.
Right, well, there you go. Nick, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. My name is Nick from Virginia. Welcome to my office.
Is that your phone?
Yeah, but if I will answer.
Hello, customer support.
Definitely answer it on the stream. Dave, customer support, say hello to the people.
Everyone, okay. Hello to the people. My name is Dave MC here in Paris, France. Currently playing Red Dead Online. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And my geek fact for today is that the most viewed Doctor Who episode is from, let me check my notes a sec, from 1979, which was City of Death with Tom Baker as the Doctor and the companion Romana, closely followed by, what was it? Yeah, Voyage of the Damned. That was the second most viewed episode. The City of Death had over 16 million viewers in total. That is the most watched episode of Doctor Who. And join me tonight as well as I try to get to a goal of a bounty of 555. That's it.
555 what?
Dollars.
Oh, okay. Right, good. Well, speaking of dollars, Dev, say hello to the people.
Hi. Hi, everyone. And my geek fact of the week is that, what was it? The Switch 2 is currently on its way to outselling the PS4 in total global sales within less than a week.
Yeah. Well, okay, so for clarification there, it's not going to outsell it in like a week or something. It's going to take years. You mean it's sold more than the PS4 had at this point?
Yeah. Come here. Yep.
Yeah, cheers.
I had a geek battle, but then I had to ignore the phone.
What?
A geek fact.
You had a geek fact, and then...
I had to ignore a phone call, remember?
Okay, so Nick, what's your geek fact?
So, the reason why you cannot stream the first Revenge of the Nerds in any platform is because there is a scene that involves somebody being sexually molested, done for a joke, which is in poor taste. But it was, of course, an 80s teen comedy.
Right, okay, I missed half of that, which sounded concerning. Right, so we're going to move on. Now...
It wasn't.
Okay, good. Well, so let's start to get into things, guys. What have we seen? What have we done? What will we be doing in the future, Capital Phase?
The new Predator Hulu movie, which I thought was going to be a series that came out. It's a killer of killers, and actually love it. I love it. I've not seen modern Predator movies at all. I've seen the one with the guy who won the Oscars for The Pianist. I think that was the last Predator movie I saw, and that was
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
That movie was bleh. But I like the '90s Arnold one, and this one I really liked as well. It kind of like an anthology where there's like the Predator drop in different eras, historical eras. The first story starts out with a Viking lady. The second one is a samurai / ninja, and the third one is a pilot from World War I believe. So it's basically the shield, the sword, and the bullet. And I gotta say, because it's animation, it was a lot better. My favorite was the Ninja Samurai versus the Predator one. So good action, so many good action, and yeah, I still don't know why people. I think they did a comic series where they put Predator against Wolverine and things like that. I always say, nah, I don't think the Predator stands a chance against like any of those superhero types because like it can't beat even human. To be fair, these humans are very good, but I'd say it's not a fair comparison. The movie was great though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was action-packed and lovely.
Okay, let's just dig into that a tiny bit there. You're saying that Predator couldn't beat Wolverine?
Yeah!
I think Predator...
He kind of could. If you cut Wolverine's head off, he dies.
Yeah, but he has adamantium skeleton.
I
Well,
want to know
there
what
is a
that's from
there is a
Deadpool.
means to do it. Then I think is what we're getting at. And look, so
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, I think Predator has a lot of things in his favour to be able to beat Wolverine. He can, like, obviously go invisible. He's
Yeah, but he can smell it
Actually,
out. Wolverine
on.
would smell it out.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
was
point.
going to say the exact same thing.
Go
He would
on,
be like, yeah, I smell Jean-Claude Van Damme.
the amount of times I've said that. Right, Nick, you about to say?
No, I was actually surprised. I was about to do this camouflage about something.
Yeah. Okay, well, good. That's cool on the Predator front. I haven't seen that. I will try to at some point. I've seen everything else Predator out there. But
It's
not
on Hulu, so I
I
think
don't know what that is in the UK. Right, Hulu. Is that just going to be on Disney? I'll check. Dev.
It's owned by Disney.
They've announced there is going to be a season 3 and 4 of Tulsa King. And there's going to be a spin-off because in season 3, Samuel L. Jackson will be joining the
This
cast.
is a big spoiler. Well, go on. What is this? What are we doing here?
Wait. Did you say Sam Jackson?
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a spoiler because there's no story limits.
Okay, go on then.
But
No
in season 3,
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson will be joining the show to backdoor pilot his own spin-off.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's good. How often does that work, though, guys? What times have there been like a show where they've just introduced a character purposely to do a spin-off where it actually happens without having to go back to Happy Days, guys? Come on. Right.
So
Nick.
I was going to say Cheers.
Torchwood.
Oh yeah, Torchwood. Yeah, good point.
Oh yeah. Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Hang on. That's a bit different, right?
It's not different.
They are different because they don't introduce. Sarah Jane wasn't introduced with the plan of her having a spin-off, and arguably Captain Jack wasn't either. But they definitely.
No, but the other characters in Sarah Jane were.
When were they in Doctor Who?
Yeah, they were in Doctor Who. Luke was in Doctor Who for the finale of David Tennant, and then for the Stolen Earth.
The finale, he'd already been
Which
in
was
Sarah
after
Jane.
Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
For the record, I really like Sarah Jane.
Right. Well, anyway.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
But no, yeah, that's a good point. And what was the one you said, Nick?
Cheers.
Yeah,
with
but that
Frasier.
again is different. Frasier was he got a spin-off, but he wasn't introduced purposely to create the spin-off. See what I mean?
There was one, I can't remember, it was like
Hold on. You said not Happy Days. I was going to say Mork and Mindy because Mork from Orange.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, Happy Days had a bunch of spin-offs, but again, they don't even really fit that rule. The only one I can think of maybe. Oh, there was.
There was one, but
Oh, there
it
was
wasn't
Joey.
successful.
What was it, Nick? Dev?
Masked Rider.
Masked Rider. What was that from?
He was
I was
in
Power
one episode
Rangers.
of Power Rangers to introduce his own show.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles as well. The
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles were in Power
they put
Rangers.
him into Power Rangers Space so they could introduce the new show, which was an exploitation, which was the live-action one with the girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But we don't
okay, so
acknowledge-
one or two other examples I can think of. The TV show Prison Break. I know that at various points they planned to do spin-offs from it. One of which became the show Breakout Kings, where I don't think they had any characters from Prison Break turn up in that. But when they made the first season of it, they had Prison Break characters in that. So that still doesn't quite fit the rule. But I know that they were going to do a Prison Break show set in a woman's prison. And one of the last episodes before they brought it back inevitably was set in a woman's prison that they planned to do, but it didn't get picked up as an actual series.
There was a Marvel one that was cancelled as well.
Go on, what's the Marvel one?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Most Wanted.
Oh.
Okay.
But
With,
isn't like the whole Marvel Phase 5 or 4 or whatever lineup was kind of like introducing
No, this is Phase
characters?
2. This is like years and years ago.
Yeah, but okay.
No,
so
I mean like
they're movers, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's what they did, right? They basically introduced new characters so they can spin off another movies. I would say, who is that? The new Ironheart.
I mean, look, if you go to movies, you could even say, like, Batman v Superman purposely had Wonder Woman. She was about to have a Wonder Woman spin-off. Or not a spin-off, a movie. And look, here's a clip of Aquaman in it and stuff like that. But TV shows where they purposely introduce a character just so that
This
you
is
get
kind of cheating.
Didn't they do that in the Arrowverse with
That
Legends.
must have done that.
yeah, Legends of
They did it
Tomorrow.
with Legends. They did it with everyone. They did it with Legends. They did it with Flash. They did it with Supergirl.
I was a fan of them. I enjoyed the Arrowverse ones.
Oh, by the way,
Obviously,
hello,
fair
KD.
point.
Sorry, we were just deep in the
No,
middle of
it's-
stuff.
My bad, I was late.
No, don't
hello
worry.
everyone, we've got a full house today.
It is. It's a busy one today. So, what TV shows have introduced characters with the intent of giving their own spin-off? Let's see what AI has got to say on this definitively.
Didn't they try that with Dexter originally? They were going to do a new series with his son, weren't they? But then they've now decided to just do another series with him, I think.
They also
Yes.
did that with No, they did. Didn't Breaking Bad? Yeah, Breaking Bad
They
had.
did that. They did two. Then they did with one with Jesse and one with
It was the
Saul.
No,
Alfredo-
Neither of those fit this very specific criteria. Better Call Saul was a prequel, and it was
Which
made
is
after
fantastic.
Breaking Bad.
Highly recommend it.
And the Jesse one was
El Camino.
You know,
And it was just a sequel of what happened to Jesse after. It was a
and it was
continuation.
a one shot,
Yeah,
which
one
I
shot.
don't recommend. Unlike Better Call Saul, which is fantastic.
I like
The
Better
Rook-
Call Saul, but the more
I
it
like-
went on, the more it was just like, well, they just wanted to do some more Breaking Bad, you know.
I would say, comparatively, I was able to stuck around until episode 2 for Better Call Saul. With Breaking
Oh,
Bad, I
God.
quit after episode 1.
You quit
Oh.
Breaking Bad after episode 1.
Yeah!
Oh, Cap.
What? Oh,
It's
okay.
Have you been-
literally like the top 5 show on anyone's list. It has to be.
No. What Cam needs to
To be
do
fair though, you
is
have
start
to
with
force
that
yourself through the
season
first
3.
few.
You do. You have to force
My
yourself
problem,
through the
the
first
problem, usually what I realize about Cap is secretly 17 years old, and therefore
Secretly,
there's some nuances.
Secretly.
overtly 17 years old.
It's the same secret as Note 7 is not code for James Bond.
Cap is like kid in Dog 2 with a little patch in his head that you could like put a USB port in. One or two.
I would say, I don't know, it's just sort of like the first episode didn't really grab me. Although I say this to a lot of cartoons, I would say, yeah, don't judge it on the first episode, stick it on.
That's not a cartoon.
Yeah, I think, Dev, you gave me a series, I think, which I also kind of like, what is this? I was expecting action, this is smooth jazz.
You know, the
Yeah.
weirdest thing, when Breaking Bad was first a show, it came out in an era where there wasn't tons of stuff really like it, and especially not where, well, just like the vibe of it, and this developed as it went on, where it became even more, like serious
So-
drama and all this kind of stuff. But when I first watched the first episode, I thought, well, this week Walt is going to be making drugs. I wonder what he's going to do next week, and I thought it was going to be one of these type of shows. Where it's like, I thought the idea was that he was going to be like, oh well, he's got the condition he's got, and he's just going to do different things every week. I thought it was going to be.
You
something
thought it was a live action Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Well, yeah.
Could
every week
you
he's gonna
imagine
get
if Breaking Bad was a sequel to Ed, Ed and Eddie?
And yeah, and so, and this was right when I was at drama school. So I saw the first episode. And I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. And I didn't continue with it for about another 3 or 4 years. And when I then watched it, I was like, oh, well, so he's just doing this drug thing the whole time. And I was like really surprised by it.
The only drama I actually watched is House MD.
House MD is really good.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Watching a British man, Hugh Laurie trying to be an American.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
House
love
MD.
House. Like,
Oh.
it was
House
amazing.
and V as one
It's like-
show.
I've already said House of D, as in like, well,
Oh, well,
I
how's
didn't
want to
that?
drag it.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Like a house doctor that visits, you know.
So I have a.
Yeah. How's
While I have both Daves present, I have a
Shoot.
Doctor Who question.
Oh no! Don't bring it back, Nick. It finally died. Why are you bringing it back?
Okay,
The
go on,
mouse
Nick.
killed it.
Because we have to
Say
talk about
something.
if we have to talk about The Witcher and Devil May Cry, me, Dave, Id, and Nick get Doctor Who.
Okay, we
I
won't-
haven't
Wait,
talked
hey,
about it.
I'm-
Just
I'll
say
talk
something
about that.
sci-fi-ish. Save us before they talk about Doctor Who.
Nick, what do you want to ask?
I want to know about
So,
people's opinion with Rose. So.
I was watching. As you guys know, I'm like only about early in the series, but I heard that Captain Jack Harkness, they called him Bo, and I'm aware that there's a character called the Face of Bo.
Yes.
Are they the same person?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
implication. Yeah.
It's implied. Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
Really,
And
They
then
never
I
really
called
pointed
up
out how.
Also a Doctor Who fan.
Magic.
They kind of did, but it's stupid as hell.
Space
well,
magic.
apparently, immortality turns you into a giant head.
No, do you know what?
It's-
He got it from Zordon.
All of the pieces were there. So,
It's
so
all
for
fun.
the others who perhaps don't know the idea of this, there's a character, Captain Jack, who, after Rose does stuff to bring back some people from the dead, he is now immortal. Every time he can get killed, but then he wakes up again.
Isn't
and he's
he
still alive.
immortal because
Hang on.
he was like hanging onto the back of the TARDIS while
Yeah.
No,
rolling
no,
around?
No. So when Rose brought him back, when she absorbed the time vortex and she brought him back, he is an anomaly.
Yeah.
He technically, he officially died on the space station fighting Daleks. Rose brought him back, so she kind of he's a fixed point in time that can never die.
Yeah. So.
But was he hanging off the TARDIS or did I dream that?
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
No,
but
he
that
did
was
do
later.
that.
When he saw that the reason why Torchwood is set where it is in the storyline. That's where the TARDIS can refuel, because there's some energy point in whatever bay in Cardiff.
Oh, it's like Buffy, where it's like
Yeah.
like a fixed point.
And so
blah, blah,
Yeah.
he knew that the Doctor would return there at some point. So then when he sees it, he's like, Doctor! And he grabs hold, and the Doctor knows that Jack is a problem. He tried to run away from him, and he held on to the TARDIS, and then went through time all the way to like the end of time itself, the end of the universe, and it should have killed him because you can't go survive that, but he could because him being an anomaly. But
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing though that he didn't manage to while he was grabbing on the TARDIS that he didn't notice Sutek on there as well? Shocking.
well, yeah, exactly. You know, but what I was going to say is
Plot
then
hole.
later in the Matt Smith era, they introduced the idea of the headless monks. And so they just put in this thing where there's this giant head called the Face of Bo, and Jack then has this little thing about, oh yeah, I was like a model, and they said that in Bo whatever town, I was the face of Bo, and then the Doctor are like, what? He's the face of Bo? And then simply, the headless monks should have been that at some point they established that they beheaded him, and because he couldn't die, he just kept trying to regrow, and it just meant that his head grew and grew. They definitely could explain that, but they almost certainly never will now because John Barrowman, who plays him, is kind of like he's cancelled or seen in
I'm seeing him
negative
next
light.
month.
Sorry,
I'm seeing him next month.
you see. Well,
Yeah, he does singing
he's
stuff
still
now,
going
doesn't he?
around. I'm not going to defend or not defend because obviously you don't know what it was. But what?
Oh,
the
we do. He was
specifics of
flopping
him,
his willy out.
He's got his wang out at some point, right?
Yeah.
But what I can say is, I'm not saying it was a different time back then.
He's
But-
very eccentric anyway, though.
Yeah, but what I can say is that apparently it was something that was handled at the time, and life moved on.
I bet it
and
was
then
handled.
Then it came, but then it was brought up again in a different era, and apparently got cancelled. For
Yeah.
it. And so the thing was, Captain Jack. Are you off, Nick? Was that a wave?
Yeah, I have to bounce.
Yeah.
Nick, you started this and you listen to a phone call and you say bye and you leave us with Dinky?
That's how this works, Cap.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just to wrap this up, so Captain Jack was in the era of Jodie Whittaker,
Yeah.
It was expected he'd still come back, but in the era of Shooter Gatwa, the character Rogue is basically Captain Jack, but they've basically made a new character to fill that void. But if you've watched the most recent episodes, he's probably just never going to be mentioned again either. Because,
Oh no!
well, yeah, but so it's just a bit of a mess. Anyway, look, we can be done with Doctor Who.
Can I just ask quickly, what was your guys' opinions with Rose though at the whole ending? Because I was a real fan
shouldn't be
believe
of the series, and I don't know how I felt about the end.
On this show about a month ago, I said definitively that they would never do that because it's been rumoured for 10 years, at least. And
Let me put it this way, KD. Let me put it this way, KD. Why do you think I'm getting rid of my rage in the game and not actually screaming my head off right now?
See, I don't myself. I don't think she's going to turn out to be the Doctor. I think it's going to be just a thing to try and make people like, whether they're annoyed by it or just interested. It's going to make people want that next series, and the next series isn't guaranteed, is it? So.
Yeah. Well, guys,
why I think
for anyone who remembers from back in the day, if they're pulling a stunt to try to get people to renew Doctor Who, I think we need another single, Doctor in Distress 2.
Oh, no, please,
So,
no.
Okay, check this out. Okay, I've got a piece of trivia about this. I may have to fact check it though. There was, when Doctor Who was going to be cancelled during the era of the 6th Doctor,
Don't do it.
fans sort of campaigned, and someone came up with the idea that, like Live Aid and Band Aid and all this other kind of stuff, they should do a charity-style single to protest and plead that Doctor Who doesn't get cancelled. And it was called Doctor in Distress. And here's a bit of trivia that I don't actually know. Doctor in Distress. Hans Zimmer did the music for it. Isn't that wild? If you go back and listen to it, it was like an awful thing, but Hans Zimmer apparently did the music for it. Music.
I can't with that song anymore.
Yeah.
I can't listen to it ever again.
I would play it on the show right now if I thought I wouldn't get into trouble for it.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that, because like the actress who played Perry,
Yeah.
she sung in that, and this is no disrespect to her whatsoever, but yeah, I think my inner Simon Cowell will have a few words to say about that.
Tim, you were saying?
Go on.
I'm trying to think, like, how was the song? Because I personally love Hans Zimmer, but sometimes
I'll just say, Tim, if you want to go and listen to it afterwards, I'd say go for it. But it's cheesy 80s pop. It's a bit of fun, but also it's a bit like, why did we as the British people do this?
Hang on, this is too good.
No question. Does anyone remember?
No!
I can't say it out loud, but go on, Tim.
Copyright strike, let's go!
Tim.
What is this?
This is
Just make a noise every like 3 seconds, you'll be fine.
Does anyone remember David Hasselhoff's True Survivor?
Yep.
Like, is it like that song?
No.
I'm guessing this is kind of similar to when the TMNT decided to become a rock band.
Yeah,
That was great though.
You got like,
Ned
Doctor
Flanders.
in
Oh my God,
distress.
So like, then you get to this. Check this out. And
Doctor
then there's the 6th
in
Doctor.
distress.
Oh my God.
Whoa, look at this guy.
There's nothing wrong with Colin Baker. He's cool.
They could do like a live aid
This is-
with like all of
yeah,
Doctor singing though. That'd be cool.
But you know what? Like the weird thing, and I saw this about this
Very
the other
cool.
day. You think the new era of Doctor Who? Only David Tennant has, and Jodie Whittaker in that last episode has been a Doctor to come back to play the Doctor after their era ended. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like Pete
That's because
Capaldi-
Matt Smith went on to. I think that's because Matt Smith went on to better things.
Matt
Well,
Smith-
of New Who, yeah. Of New Who. Well, Christopher didn't want to come back because that's why they got John Hurt in.
Yeah. And then so Jodie.
Oh, yeah, that
actually
was
just
Matt
came
Smith's
back,
time,
but she
yeah,
only
yeah.
it's so weird that Jodie Whittaker was only 3 years ago, or was she even 2 years ago? So 2022.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
and we've had
pandemic time.
we've 3 doctors removed from that now. That's ridiculous.
Charge.
But anyway,
Well, you kind of in this.
well, yeah, we'll find out. Introducing Billy Piper, who Billy Piper actually is playing. Okay,
And do we
guys.
count David Tennant still because it was a bi-generation? I don't
Yeah,
even
just-
like that.
Yeah.
That kind of, I keep saying it, and this is the last time I'll say it. I think having David around and then Shooty straight away, coming from the bi generation, we have to live with that because it's the new Shooty didn't get a fair shot to be his own character from the get go. We had to go from David into Shooty, and this Shooty not really having a lot of screen time, being in David's shadow, who is more popular.
Yeah.
I think it could have helped him as well, though, and you could argue the opposite, that the rub could have helped him.
Yeah, well, see, the interesting thing in that scene where David bi-generated and now suddenly both of them, that was a surprise. Everyone knew that Shooty Gatwa was going to be the next Doctor, but the fact that you then had that scene where there was 2 Doctors working together, that in itself was cool. But it was always like, so what are they going to do with David being there now? And they're like, we're just going to ignore him. We'll never mention him again.
Down the road,
No matter what trouble or dangers the world are in, we're going to ignore it forever. Go on, Dev.
It's literally they made David like they made David Doctor thing with his imagination, just in case they put him in a like glass box, like in case of emergency, break glass,
Yeah.
just to keep him there.
Well, look, they can't help it. They were like, oh, we'll make a clone from his hand, and we'll keep that in another world, so we could always bring him back, which they never did. And it's like, we'll just and even though he was already out there, they were like, when Jodie regenerates, we'll just turn it back into David. So there's 2 of them now. And when David regenerates, we'll just split him in 2, so he's still there. You know, so they just can't get off the David Tennant thing. Okay, guys, let's move on. As much as I don't actually want to,
Yeah.
for the sake of our non-Whovian friends, Dev.
This is so bad timing, but I'm trying to find an article that I just saw a second ago that I just refreshed. Apparently, there's another version of the finale.
Another of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And we cannot escape. We cannot escape the black hole
God.
that is.
Dev, what have you done?
No, there is another. So I can instantly say on this, because Shooty wasn't going to regenerate. He only regenerated because he was getting offers from Hollywood, and he didn't want to be trapped under contract, waiting. He needed to be able to say, I've got to be able to go off and film whatever else, and so they had to reshoot the ending. Now, why they reshot the ending? Because they could have just had that happen and then bring him in to shoot a regeneration at the beginning of an episode. But I think with Doctors,
They
when
can't
they are...
guarantee that, I guess, though, can they?
Sorry?
They can't guarantee that, I guess, though, they're thinking in their head, and it.
Well, do you know what? Just do, like, speaking of, like, the 6th Doctor earlier, right?
Woo.
What they did with him is they had Sylvester McCoy just wear his costume, and at the beginning of the episode, you saw the TARDIS, and it was like, BOW! It got shot, and then you just saw, like, Sylvester McCoy hiding his face, and then as he turned over, he regenerated. So they could have just said, like, Shooty, just stand here, just go like this, and we'll insert it later, somewhere. You know.
Yeah.
I put in the StreamYard chat for anyone else wants to see it.
No, don't see that. Just go up and let's look at the new Superman stuff.
Yeah,
Yay,
let's look at Superman.
Oh, it's a new Superman.
Yeah, Superman!
Apparently, Superman's TV
Yay.
sales have been really good.
Yay!
I have heard something about the test screenings being quite good.
Yeah.
Same with Fantastic Four too.
Yeah, so.
And
God.
I've
From
heard
what
mixed
I've
things
heard-
about. Yeah, go ahead.
they've not in other Superman movies and stuff, like the extra characters felt shoved in, but the Justice League in this one seems organically integrated into Superman's world without being like shoved in.
Isn't it?
I heard
Is
that-
it
I-
supposed to
I
be
heard-
already like it's not Origin then? They're already like Fantastic Four. It's already like
Yeah, they'll do a bit at the beginning where it's like an origin, like the Taylor Hoechlin TV show, where like they'll show the beginning and they'll skip forward into like further into his career.
Oh, I don't like that with the flashbacks and all that, but
I mean, I've heard mixed things about the screening. Like, I heard there was a lot of silliness that they need to cut out.
I can imagine because it's James Gunn, isn't it?
Yeah.
James Gunn has to be controlled.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Superman is my least favourite superhero by far. The only Superman film I've ever liked, is the one that apparently was the least like Superman was Man of Steel. I enjoyed Man of Steel.
Why don't you like Superman, KD?
It's boring. It's like the most. You want a superhero, you know, to be like not the most powerful person in the room.
Okay,
Katie, go.
Why?
Katie,
that's exactly
Katie,
what I want from a superhero.
No,
Katie, go and watch the 90s Superman, the animated series. You can watch it with your son, or watch the Justice League show that came out in the 2000s. There, you will see.
Man. I watched them. I watched all the stuff growing up, and I hated Superman. Always did. I love Batman. I love the Flash. Green Lantern's cool.
Green Lantern was confusing.
Yeah,
there's like 5 of them.
Green Lantern is so underrated. I think Ryan Reynolds killed it.
I don't know about it.
I meant he killed it in a way. He killed the whole thing. Like, he could have revived, but because of that movie, it died completely.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you.
Dave is back, by the way.
When did he leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very grateful, isn't it? That's very nice, isn't it? Oh, Dave is gone.
Yeah.
No, Dave disappeared.
I can always bugger off again if you want me to.
No,
Okay.
Dave just reappeared like that in the hotel lady.
You
from
did a ninja vanish, Dave. You did a ninja vanish.
I'm offended.
Okay.
I'm offended and hurt.
So look, obviously everyone will get their opinion in it and stuff, and that that's always fine.
What are we talking about? Doctor Who?
No. Right. KD said the controversial thought, saying that Superman is boring and that he's too powerful. Now, what I think though is, if there was a problem in the world today, and someone say, "Oh, you can have Superman come and help, or Batman come and help," I'll be like, "Well, Superman has powers. He's strong. He can solve this. That's what you want from a hero. Like he's the ideal."
Yeah, but when you look at it in the DC universe, the reason why they actually fund the Justice League is because, he can't solve everything.
But he realistically could, though, if he wanted to.
He realistically could, but the problem, I think the Justice League show they did beautifully is because they made Superman the sole protector of the Earth, and they disarmed all the nuclear bombs, which is good, but it was an alien plot.
When we get to it, the reason why these other characters are needed is because DC were like, look, we have to sell other comic books. Superman can just solve everything. You turn to page 1 of the new issue of The Flash, and he'd be like, oh my god, there's a forest fire in the Amazon. And he'd be like, I'm gonna get there now. And he arrives, and Superman's like, dude, it's out. It's out.
Yeah,
but
it's done.
Yeah, but David, if they did that, that kind of goes into what KD said. He's just too damn powerful. There is no story at all.
But obviously, they've come up with loads of stories for Superman. They've come up with loads of
Kryptonite. Over and over.
Doomsday.
No, I think that what they did is they brought him against powerful
James Gunn.
Yeah. Yeah, but the best thing they kind of did with...
What the hell?
That's not me before you say anything.
Fire truck across.
Okay, it was Tim. Wow, I genuinely thought it was the end of
Zombie
Days
apocalypse. It was like a zombie thinking of something
it's
like
just,
that.
Just
I'm
Danger
gonna
5
die
dropped in the
sitting
room.
here talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So
It's finally happened.
I think what they did with Superman, they brought in more powerful enemies, but again, they also kind of did what they did with Lex Luthor always, is that outsmart him.
Yeah. Dev?
on that point, how does Bizarro outsmart Superman?
He doesn't outsmart Superman. He just punches Superman in an opposite way.
See,
What?
Bizarro is a character I've never got into, to the point that even though I've seen
He's
I
the
like him.
opposite. He's the opposite Superman.
Me
Instead of
and
saying
Superman.
instead of
Bizarro.
saying up and away, he says down and away.
Shouldn't it be
Bizarro
down,
would
down,
probably
and here?
have, like a
Yeah, down in here.
thought pattern.
Go on, Tim.
Bizarro would probably have a thought pattern that just Superman can't accurately predict very easily. So
Yeah,
it's like,
possibly. That's,
you know,
that's fair.
whereas
That's fair.
Superman might have a logical thinking, Bizarro's just like, I'm super powered, and for this reason, this is a good way to do things. It's, you know, that might.
He'll
just
be like this. He'll be like, let's be friends, and then Superman goes for a handshake, and then pow.
Yeah.
Gets his
Like,
opposite
the one thing
Superman.
that Superman doesn't have is foresight. You know, he can't. He can look and predict something that might happen, but he doesn't actually know.
You know, that's such a good point.
Wow.
I've seen these really cool. I don't know if I'll be able to find them. Like a cool series of videos where people pick characters. When I saw these videos, I was like, I keep trying to get us to do this on Geek Battle, and I don't remember if it was Superman, but it was someone really powerful, and it was just like against the Jedi, and it's just like Jedis would be able to sense stuff, and that there's always ways to find where someone has a flaw. So with so many superheroes, their flaw is that Superman is like, oh, he cares about these people. Spider-Man's like, they'll use the ones I love against us. But also, it's just like, Spider-Man wouldn't be able to defeat Superman. I think we could easily agree on that. But
Well, yeah.
Spider-Man...
He'll borrow some kryptonite from Batman.
But you think, if Spider-Man really focused, if you had to say a scenario in which Spider-Man could defeat Superman, it would have to rely on him being smarter, and also his spidey sense, meaning that for as long as his stamina could last, he might be able to dodge Superman.
No, David,
we could just use
you're
kryptonite
forgetting
web.
foresight. Foresight doesn't equal super speed. You might see Superman's punch coming, but you won't still be fast enough to react to it.
But the point is, you will.
yeah.
You would. Because, look,
No.
so-
Whoa!
yes,
Okay.
you would. Because
So-
he'd see it far enough in the future.
Dave, you can always
David?
see. Yeah.
No, I
God
think
damn.
I think Thanos already was too quick for him, so I think Superman would be too quick.
Okay,
For Spider-Man.
so
Yeah, I think so, wasn't he?
Yeah, but look.
So-
Say if you had to come up with a scenario where Spider-Man could stand a chance with Superman, do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember the Nick Cage movie called Next, where he has the ability to see 1 minute into the future or 3 minutes into the future? When he's trying to hook up with that woman in the
that is the
zone,
example.
like a guy comes over and goes to punch him, and he just like dodges it, right? And then he sees that the woman isn't impressed, and he's just like, he can dodge everything. So even if something
but
was really quick, if
that's
he
not
knew it was going
Superman.
to land exactly here, he'd know to not be there before it landed. Cat.
David,
Yeah.
Batman fought a guy with the exact powers, and Batman beat him.
Yeah, but Batman.
But
It
Batman
also
has strong
tends to,
armor.
like,
Yeah, but Batman has
Doom.
prep time.
Batman
No,
always has
Doom.
prep
No,
time.
he's fighting against a guy where he can have prep time. The guy has unlimited prep time. Whenever he gets beat by Batman, he would just reverse the whole thing by switching and going to that day forward. So he will know whatever Batman's gonna throw out. So Batman has to, whatever he improvises, he keeps resetting the day, doing the Bill Murray thing.
But that's different.
It's
That's
kind of a
different.
pointless thing anyway, though, because all Spider-Man would have to do is literally just go to Tony Stark and get some kryptonite web
I mean,
and just sling up Superman.
Tony Stark won't
Yeah.
have kryptonite.
Yeah,
He'll
Tony
get it.
Stark won't have kryptonite.
He'll find it. He finds everything else.
if you could set the day, that'd be a pretty cool power because, like, the amount of experience you could get over the course of a period of time is like that's
There's a
fantastic TV show.
Batman. There's a Batman episode, Tim. You should go check out. It's from the Batman 2003 series, where a guy who literally is Bill Murray, he just resets the day
Okay,
whenever he
so-
gets
but
defeated by
here's-
Batman.
So a couple of quick thoughts on that. So first of all, there was a fantastic TV show which only lasted 2 seasons called True Calling, starring Eliza Dushku, who was, I think, Faith in Buffy, and
Yep.
she worked in a morgue, and the bodies would suddenly wake up with their eyes and say, "Help me!" And suddenly she'd go back in time a day, and she'd have one day to try to save these people before they got killed. But the difference between Spider-Man's ability of Spidey sense is that that's adaptable, whereas resetting the day, as soon as you do one thing different, everything else will start to have the butterfly effect and be different here and there.
Yeah.
So it would be like when you watch Groundhog Day and Bill Murray is trying to go out with Andy McDowell. He says something wrong, and when he gets it wrong, it's ruined, and he has to start the whole day again. What
Yeah, but he has infinite tries.
What Spider-Man or what Nick Cage has in that movie is that because you always see 1 minute into the future, or because Spidey sense would see all of the dangers, it means you get to adapt as it's happening in real time. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, but here's the thing, David. Spider-Man doesn't work on light speed. He's not that fast. He is fast on a human standard and for lots of other things, but he's not gonna dodge a punch from the Flash. It's the same as he won't be able to dodge a punch from Superman. And Superman has so many options. The problem is he has so many options.
No, I think it doesn't mean that they're faster. But if you always know where to dodge, then yeah.
Yeah, but if by the time
Okay,
he
David.
decides,
Okay, then Superman decides he's always dodging. Let me just thunderclap this whole area to compete. He's gonna outrun the
That's the same
thunderclap.
thing. Okay, so in the Nick Cage movie where he can see 3 minutes into the future.
Forget Nick Cage.
No, but
No,
listen,
let him get his point out.
There's two
Superman,
two scenarios in that film. First of all, when the people are pursuing him, they try to convince someone to give him a drink that would knock him out, and the time it takes to have an effect is longer than what he'd see in the future. So he wouldn't get the warning of it happening until it was too late for him to do anything about it. And the second thing is that they set off a nuclear bomb, which the radius would mean that even when he knew that suddenly it was going off, he wouldn't have enough warning to get away. So if Superman can just thunderclap and it's like such a big area, then Spider-Man wouldn't be able to escape it. But just in terms of a punch, Spider-Man is already pretty fast. Yeah, that is one of his skills. And he has the foresight to be able to always move.
Alright, I gotta go, guys.
Take care, Tim.
Bye, Tim.
He doesn't generally seem to be able to control it all the time, though, does he? Though
Well, no,
I suppose it
I
depends
agree,
whether
I
we're
do
talking about
agree.
movies or like late. Because in the older like the 90s cartoon, he was a bit more in control of it then, wasn't he? So
Yeah, but no, this is what I mean.
That
Like
movie.
I said, if we had to come up with a scenario where someone like Spider-Man could defeat Superman, this is how you'd have to paint it.
Yeah, but David, you told me in all the scenarios how he can dodge a punch. This doesn't equals him defeating Superman in any way. Okay, he keeps infinitely dodging. What is he gonna do to Superman?
you can have the nano armor stuff as well that he got from Iron Man. That's going to make him a lot stronger as well, straight away. With the death mode.
Still, like, if Superman will be like, punch, Spider-Man punches, and Superman will be like, okay, what's next?
Spider-Man would have to lure Superman somewhere, which meant that, similar to Nuclear Man, but obviously it's not as pronounced, that gets it so Superman doesn't
Hey,
have to
now you're all doing what Batman and Lex Luthor does on a regular basis.
Put him into the Spider-Verse.
Well, look, right, so... well, I'll just give this... Look, if we're painting a scenario, what scenario could a character defeat another one in? Sometimes it is a case of that... Like I read I'll give this very quick wrestling example. I read the autobiography of the wrestler Mick Foley, known as Mankind Do Love Cactus Jack. And he said that he was at a theme park in the late 90s. And a dad and the kid came up to him. And the dad said, "Hey, can my son show you his Goldberg impression?" Now, Goldberg was in WCW, Mankind was in WWF. And in Foley's book, which is really funny, he said, like, well, Goldberg isn't even in WWF, but he was going to be nice to this kid who was about 2 or 3 years old. And so he's like, okay, kid, let's see it. Bang! The kid punched Mick Foley in the face. And he said, even though he was known as the hardcore legend, when you get hit in the face, by a 4-year-old, it still really hurts. So as long, it doesn't mean that someone can't do damage, even if it isn't the absolute obvious that they can do.
So you're basing mankind to equivalent to the guy who takes punches from missiles on a regular basis?
Yes! Go on, Dev.
So I have 4 points to completely dismantle Cap, and
Oh, I love
we do the
this.
last one to whatever I feel like it. Number 1, the spider sense works so well, even when he's unconscious, it will naturally dodge everything that happens
That's
to him.
true. Look at
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Number 2,
Oh, that I'm trying to think what that was in.
Yeah.
Number 2, Spider-Man does not fight to win. He fights in incapacity. Number 3, Spider-Man is the 4th smartest person in Marvel. He
Yep.
can make kryptonite.
4th smartest.
Yes.
What's the order
Okay.
out of interest?
Reed, Tony, Banner, Peter.
Yeah.
Really? I
The
don't know.
only-
What about like Shuri? Shuri's got to be smarter.
No.
Who?
No.
Who?
No.
Shuri,
Black Panther's
from
sister.
Black
They got
Panther,
him
I
off
would
during the
agree she is
movies.
meant to be smarter than Bruce Banner because in the movies they make him an absolute loser. As
That's
soon as
different.
he becomes Mark Ruffalo, they're like, this guy is not a genius at all.
I think in the movie she's supposed to be smarter than Tony and
Yeah,
Bruce.
in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
In the
I,
comics,
I
it's,
would I would say making the only character I've seen make kryptonite is Firestorm, and that's because he's a nuclear character. He is nuclear.
Oh, thank you very much. Richard Pryor makes kryptonite in Superman 3.
Forget that movie.
Lex
Forget
Luthor.
that movie.
Richard Pryor, Gus. What is the character called? Richard Pryor.
Kryptonite
Gus.
is an element that can
Gus
be made.
Gorman. Gus Gorman. Guys, check out
It's
the
an
glory.
alien element from a
It's an
different
alien
universe.
element
And he
Cap,
makes
Cap,
it.
you are arguing the fact that Superman could beat Spider-Man. You're in the wrong on this one.
Right, yeah, no, Gus makes it because he uses computers to analyze it, and there was an element that they didn't find, so he put tar in it, and that's what made Superman turn bad.
Yeah.
KD, I know you say you don't like any
makes a
Superman
lot of
film,
sense.
but you have to
Now-
appreciate
now-
Richard Pryor in Superman 3.
Isn't
I
that the one where they
appreciate
make a
Richard
robot?
Yeah, fair.
Is that the one where
I-
they make a
I tell you
robot?
what, I appreciate
Yes.
Richard Pryor in Brewster's Millions more than anything.
Oh my
That's the
god,
film for him.
Brewster's Millions is one of the best comedies of all time.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally
I
agree.
love that movie.
But let's be fair though. When it comes to Superman, like the one fight that everyone wants to see with Superman is Superman versus Goku. That's the one.
True.
Superman would win, hands down. Goku won't win.
Nah, Goku would smash him. What are you on about?
The thing is that someone's already covered this. So Superman has unlimited power. Goku is powered by ki. He has a limited pool of energy. Even with Mastered Ultra Instinct, he still has limited power, and his body can only take so much damage before it breaks. Superman has unlimited power. There you go. Case in point.
think
Take
you're
care now.
forgetting
Bye bye
something.
then.
And Dave, you're still arguing that Spider-Man can beat Superman.
You're forgetting something though. All Goku would have to do is just like do an instant transmission with Superman away from the sun.
He wouldn't do that. Goku wouldn't do that. Goku wants a one-on-one fight.
Yeah, well, he'll have to.
Goku would have a one-on-one. Goku is not in the habit of ending a fight quickly. He wants the fight to go on and on and on and on until it spans the case, which could be a 1-minute fight takes 15 episodes.
I remember the Umbrage episode where Vegeta says like, "Let's fight." I goddamn missed you. Because
Did
he
you
just
guys,
loves
very quickly, did you guys ever see epic rap battles?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going
Did
to see them next
Goku-
week.
Sorry, what was that, Dev?
I'm going to see them next week.
Oh, well,
They're in
see
Camden.
them live. Oh, do you know, I
Wow,
saw
okay.
that they were going to be here. I'd love to see them live.
It's
Yeah, they're in Camden.
bullshit.
Yeah,
They're
but,
gonna be
yeah,
Dingwalls.
they did Superman versus Goku, and it's really short, but it is really good.
I love the ending.
We got seen it.
Okay, I'm
Because
gonna bring it up.
the ending
I
is-
can't play it properly.
Okay,
But you'll see the costume. You'll see
The last line is amazing.
So like Superman, and Goku. This is a really good. You'll see like what the lyrics are there. Like some of them are a little un-PC for even like 10 years later, but oh well.
I love the ending. Like the last line is the best line in like epic rap battle history, I think.
I'm gonna skip it because otherwise we are gonna get told off. Oh no, that's really rough.
You got the overlay.
Oh, is
that's
that the
smart,
last
though. I
line?
need to do
Oh,
that.
that's really
Yeah.
rough. That's
Like,
that's
we all know how this battle's gonna end.
Was
One
it?
Superman.
It's never gonna walk again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman.
Oh,
Also, one of the most proven methods, without even throwing a punches to defeat Superman, is to do bad PR. That's what basically Lex Luthor does in most of the cartoon stuff.
yeah.
Because here's the thing. Superman can outpunch anything. The only thing he can't outpunch is public opinion. Just troll him to death.
It's true, because even look at the new trailer. He's like, you want to interview me, Miss Lane? And she's like, why does Superman think that you can go and stop a war? And he's already flustered like anything. Deb.
I'm gonna end this with a quote from Stan Lee. In any situation where can X beat Y, do you know who wins?
No.
Whoever the writer wants to.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, I've heard this and I got tired of this. This like, oh, what would you? Whatever God wants to happen will happen. Yeah, we know. unless the paper comes to life and says no.
Okay, guys. So something I wanted to bring up, is they have revealed the trailer for Resident Evil 9.
Oh yes! I'm so pumped about this.
So the amazing thing is, they completely trolled the audience at the show it was revealed at. Because they had Resident Evil earlier in the show, and they said, "Oh, we're having a sale on the past games, and I know you're waiting for a big announcement, but you're gonna have to wait a little while longer." And literally, it was about 25 minutes. And so, because they'd said that, everyone was expecting no Resident Evil. And then they showed this trailer, which it isn't until you're 2/3 of the way through where it's 100% certain that it's Resident Evil.
I've seen some of this actually, you know.
Yeah, like the graphics are incredible. So this is PS5.
Look at this thing. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I still want to say Leon is the bad guy in it.
Oh, maybe.
No, shut up.
No.
I like Resident Evil, but I'm not gonna lie, I am so lost with where the story is.
Well,
You're not the only one, JD. KD. RD. 2D.
KD 2D, yeah.
KD 2D.
Right. Well, yeah, the weird thing is that they have done a couple. They're not even reboots, but they've done a couple of soft reboots. In that, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica is like one chapter of the saga. So if you could see those like the original Star Wars kind of thing, then they did 4, 5, 6 as a different chapter, and then 7, 8, and then into 9, I guess, is a new era. But at the same time, then they started remaking them, which kind of blurs the waters of what continuity is what anymore.
Yeah, because I thought they got to like near the end, and they went back to like they remade like 3 and 4 or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they made. So they remade the first one after about 5 years, but then after about 15 years, then they remade 2, 3, and 4, and they did them so that there was Resident Evil 7, then there was Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, sorry, is it the other way around? There was Resident Evil 2 remake, then there was Resident Evil.
No, you were right. You were right the first time.
Oh, was I the first
7,
time? So
7, then 2.
Then 2. Then they did Resident Evil 3 remake. Then they did Resident Evil 8. And then they did Resident Evil 4 remake, and now they're doing Resident Evil 9.
The thing with
I played
Resident Evil,
4, so in that case then I might have played the last one, so that's alright in that case then, cool.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but,
Makes
but
sense
like,
they're all confused.
this character...
with Resi,
No, go on.
yeah.
Go on, Kat.
No, with Resi, I think the best thing about it is like what I've seen with what they do with the animated movies. They gave Neo Umbrella like the shadowy organization that always provides things for like terrorist groups or like countries that are in civil wars, and this creates the situation of like, you know, biohazard weapons in these certain scenarios, and the heroes will go in and save the day. which I think kind of works for like any sort of scenario that you can put the Resident Evil cast and the zombies in.
Can I throw my
this is
10
where it
cents in
gets-
something? Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so very quickly, so this is where the part of the trailer where it suddenly people were like, oh my god, what's that? Because it's a town that has been nuked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are like, oh, what is this? And they had said that the character in it was Grace Ashcroft, which people realised is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, which itself was something of a spin-off.
Woo!
Still part of the story, but a spin-off. But then when people saw this, the R, the P, they recognised that that's meant to be a D there. And you can just about see it says raccoon. So for the first game since Resident Evil 3 that came out in 1999, they're actually returning you to Raccoon City. Further in the story, not just as Outbreak was set during the events of Resident Evil 2. So the story will actually bring you back to the wreckage after the nuke.
But wouldn't it be still radioactive?
Yeah, possibly. Because, gosh, what's that place? Is it
Chernobyl?
Chernobyl. Now, you can actually go there. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
but
there
again, you still have to wear
there
a
are
lot of.
they suggest that you shouldn't go in there for like more than an hour and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And there are some places they're like you're still not safe.
Well, it was the same in. Well, here's the thing. It's like they got the thing in Hiroshima. It's the same that you can go there as well. And the thing is, they said that you can go there, but you have to go in with a Geiger counter, and you can't get out your car for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, nuts. Now, one of the things just on this trailer that's interesting compared to other Resident Evil games is this shows functioning society.
Yeah.
So you can see that people are in offices. No Resident Evil game is like this. So you might
Wow.
see... What do you mean?
I mean,
Well, no,
Kind of village. We're always dropped head first into the danger, aren't we?
Yeah, so like Village, by the time look, when Resident Evil 3 begins, you run past 2 survivors. In Village, you meet some people hiding in their shacks and whatever.
Yeah.
But only Resident Evil 6. When they first showed a trailer for Resident Evil 6, and it showed Chris walking down, he pushes a cameraman out the way. You never see people just getting on with their jobs, their day-to-day jobs. It's always in the midst of danger.
I think Chris' story starts off in a bar, right?
Yeah, in a cutscene, not in gameplay.
Yeah.
Like Resident
I
Evil
think
Village starts off and they're having a meal.
I think this is the same for this, David. I think this is just going to be a cutscene.
Maybe.
Sorry, I took my headphones off. I don't want spoilers. I now have Resident Evils 4, 5, and 6. I don't want spoilers.
We didn't say anything spoiler. It's just.
Well, I don't want anything. I want to go in blind.
They push a cameraman. Boom.
No, no, not the cameraman.
Right,
No.
That's fair. Well, this is a bit of a spoiler that you're watching this trailer, then, Dave.
No. Well, I already know. I kind of already figured that Raccoon would go boom boom.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, actually, on the Resident Evil front, I just finished Resident Evil 0.
How did you find it in the end?
I found it very. I think I said this last week as well. I found it annoying, like the storage system and that having to run back and forth and do everything.
Yeah.
Having two playable characters at the same time was a lot of fun. The end boss, I fucking hated. Yeah. I really hated that boss, but I did love kind of the cheesy dialogue from the villain. It's like, you'll pay for what you've done. We'll see about that. That's like, oh, Jesus God, this is
right. If you think the cheesy, you need to go back and play the PS1 original games. That's where, like, the very first game. That's where you'll see the likes of.
That's the one on Good Old Gaming, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm going to get. I am going to get that after.
Oh my God.
Maybe at some point I will do it, but yeah, I did enjoy Zero, but it had its problems, and it was a good bit of fun. But I don't know. It's not one that I would ever put back in again. It's not one I'll actively hunt for again.
Can we agree to one thing when it comes to Resident Evil? Because I remember now why I was aware of this a bit.
That Leon's hair is stupid?
What?
Never say that.
That Leon's hair is stupid.
I don't
It's
even know who
rough
that is.
when Cap is sat here with the same dude. But go on, KD.
Shit, what was I going to say now? Fuck, it's gone out of my head now. Hold
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry, Katie. I'm so sorry.
It's alright,
See, you
I'll come back
ruined it
in a
with the
second.
hair.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I remember. That we are now at the point, surely, with Resident Evil, we can all agree that they have run out of titles. Like Requiem is one of the most generic titles for a game.
I feel like they did. One of the movies is titled Resident Evil Requiem. I think one of the movies is titled that way.
I don't know. We had a look for every film that had Requiem in the title, and there's so many just terrible films, and none of them actually match what the definition of Requiem is either.
But do you,
Like a
but
hobby
do you know
thing.
why they've done it, KD? It's because the
What's that?
Q can look like a number 9.
9.
Because, okay, so Resident Evil 7 was, in Japan it's called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. In the rest of the world it's called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. But when you get the word evil and you have the E, then you have the V, I, and then if they cut the bottom of the L off, it reads as V11. And then you have village. Now imagine setting the entire game in a village just so that you could have the V-I-L-L so it looks like a number 8. Like, I think we were joking that Resident Evil 9 should have been Resident Evil 9 Dominatrix just so they could have an IX for the
The return of Domitresque.
But we said that Resident Evil 10 will probably be Resident Evil Xstreamed just so they can have that prominent X. I almost guarantee whatever Resident Evil 10 will be a word that has a prominent X in it.
If it does, will you sue?
No. I stole Extreme Improv from Extreme Championship Wrestling. That's a well-known fact. Originally, the show was called Extreme Championship Improv. That's, I dropped the word 100% true. I dropped the word championship because it is such a long word for social media. Tonight, see, Extreme Championship Improv. It was just, there were so many letters to write in that. I was like, I'm using up all my characters on Twitter.
David finally understands Gen Z.
I invented Gen Z. Right, okay, now Resident Evil film series. I'm going to see if there is... was there an animated film, Requiem? There was Apocalypse...
My favourite movie had the word Requiem in it.
Alien vs Predator.
Fuck off!
Okay.
Retribution.
Resident Evil Retribution. Raccoon City, and then... Let's see... I can't see
Have
the
you had a look at the
animated film
definition?
system. Sorry?
Animated films are degeneration and
Regeneration.
no
Death
degeneration.
Island, Vendetta, Damnation, Degeneration. Yeah, so they haven't had Requiem before. But
Do you want to know what the definition is, though?
I do.
It's an act or a token of remembrance or a mass or the repose of souls of the dead in the Roman Catholic Church.
Well, they might be able
That
to
kinda
find a way
works.
to shoehorn
Yeah.
that in.
Kind of works.
Yeah, that kind of works with Resident
Well,
Evil returning to Raccoon City.
Well, didn't they kind of cover that, like, somewhat in the trailer, where she's going back to a place? I don't know if this whole thing is going to be in Raccoon City. I don't think they said that.
Probably won't all.
But didn't they say that she was already come from that place or something?
Well, yeah, because her mother, when you play Outbreak...
Was in Outbreak.
Yeah.
I have played Outbreak. I played with Danny.
Oh my god, it's so... What do you think of the controls of it? They're a nightmare.
I hated it. The
Yeah.
minute I touched it, I hated the controls.
You can
I was
get
too,
used to
although
it,
I was
but-
too busy running around screaming my head off, going, "What the fuck am I doing, Danny?"
I forget the precise details because I haven't touched it in about 4 or 5 years. But it was just so cumbersome.
Was that the weird one?
Choice of words.
That
I haven't
wasn't-
touched
look,
it. I haven't touched
haven't
it in
touched
4
it in 4 or
years.
5
It's been
years.
very. It's very
It's
cumbersome.
ready to blow, boys. Right.
I'm sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
hope someone's ready to blow. Now, anyway, right. What were we saying? Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, play the original. Play the original.
Yeah. I will. I definitely play the
and-
original.
And, Cap, to answer a question you asked the other day about it, they haven't shown any gameplay, but today I was just looking it up, and people have played it, and the reports on it. Apparently, you can play it either first person or third person, and it is your choice.
Thank God! Thank God!
Choice. And it says that you play as the character Grace, so who knows if you'll also be able to play as anyone else. They could easily just not let you know that.
Also, is it more horror orientated or more action orientated?
Oh, if it's horror, definitely. I'm definitely on that. Well, it looks horror anyway.
Well,
I hope so.
See, I say they're all horror, even the ones that aren't horror, because it's just that the Resident Evil games do this every time. The first one is set in a spooky mansion, right?
Yep.
And the second one, I've made a video on this. How the second the second Resident Evil in particular is based so much on the Terminator. Like the Stalker character coming after you is like the Terminator. So many things in it. There's like, so many references to the Terminator. Resident Evil 3 was even more action orientated, and then they were like, "Oh, we need to be more horror again." So then they did the remake, and then they were like, "No, we're going to do Resident Evil 4, and it's very action." They were like, "We need to make it even more action." And then number 6 is even more action, and then they were like, "Oh, but even on 6, they were like, if you play as Leon, it's more horror again. But if you play as Chris, it's just Gears of War." And then they were like,
but
7,
if you play as Jake, if you play as Jake, it's like a mix between an odd mix between them, because he has an odd X character in him chasing him the whole game.
Yeah, fair.
And then in Ada's campaign, it gets into more freaky shit.
True, but hang on one second. One second. So, with Resident Evil 7, they were like, we're bringing it back to survival horror. And then with Resident Evil 8, they were like, well, we're going to throw in some Resident Evil 4 action and, just upgrades and stuff like this as well. They can't help themselves. They can never get the balance right. And every time they make something horror, they were like, oh, we should have done more action. Then they were like, oh, people wanted it more horror. And then they roll it back every 3 games. Every 3 games in that pattern.
I think David, you might be right on the 4 being the sweet spot, because like everything about 4 is horror-esque. Like the imagery, the scares, it's all. But the thing is that they give you the ability to be John Wick if you want to. So it's just like the whole facade is very horror-esque. Yeah. But again, you have to choose to play your own gameplay kind of mechanic where you can just go John Wick on the whole thing.
Is that Dawn of Apocalypse, that one? One of the remakes or not?
No, the 4. I was talking about Resident Evil 4, the remake.
Yeah, the remake. I thought because the third one was it? It's got the guy with the hat, the big like.
No, that was 2. That was 2, Mr. X.
Oh, okay. 2 and 3 I played then. I think.
My best friend in the whole world.
Who is in the Marvel fighting games?
What's that, Dev?
He's in the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games.
Who, Mr. X?
No, Nemesis.
Oh. Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nemesis is in 3.
Oh great! I got another thing to look forward to then. Yay!
Have you played Resident Evil
the ones you on about?
3, Dave?
I've played the remake of 2, and I have the remake of 3, so that's ready to go.
Do it. It's a much shorter game. You'll get through it really quick.
Oh, good. I'll do that one then.
Yeah, I'd say you should do it because it honestly doesn't take long.
So you're the first person to actually say to me, go and play 3. Cap keeps trying to convince me to play 4.
No, you
Capcom
should
convinced
definitely
me
Because
to
four is awesome!
Capcom
I think
convinced
I
you to play
played 3
8.
and I
Skip the
think
rest
it
of
was
them.
good.
Play 8, because that's the newest one.
What was that, Dev?
Capcom convinced him to play the newest one regardless. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, he just wants me to play all the Leon stories because he yeah.
Cap, you should play
Yeah.
Resident Evil Gaiden.
What?
It's a Leon game. Have you not played it? Have you not played it? It's a game where you play as Leon.
Yeah.
I have not played that.
Oh, you should.
How is this possible?
Wait, is that just Ninja Gaiden with the Leon Kennedy skin?
No, I shit you all not.
Could you imagine if that was a thing?
Okay, that's long play.
How can I not have been aware of this? I know he was in one of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but Chris Redfield's the OG.
He won't play it. He will not play it. Trust me.
No, he won't. I
You
don't.
should play this. Hang on, let's.
Because I
let's bring
played
this up.
it, so I know you won't.
Yeah. Look, you wait until you see this. 1 second.
Guys, you're trying to convince a guy who thinks Shazam is the best character on Injustice to play an old Resident Evil game.
Okay, check this out. Boom.
Hey! There he is.
Oh my god!
There he is. So which one's Leon?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is
The
Who is
fire is
Lucia?
spreading. If it reaches the engine room, the ship will explode or something. We're gonna have to go with it. There's Barry.
Oh, I thought that was Leon.
No. Good old Barry, you can fly.
Oh, Barry's back.
Yeah.
Yay, Barry. I like Barry.
This was the first time you could actually ever play as Barry. Look at that! Look at that graphics. That is amazing.
Oh, unbelievable.
He didn't warn me about the
Look at
zombie
that, look at
outside
that,
the
they
door, so he's
literally
still
used
again.
the
There he
graphics.
is.
Look at that. There you go. There's Leon.
Oh, I know that fella. Was he the copper?
Why is he a redhead?
Yeah,
in this
he's
one?
the Rosa.
Why is he a redhead in
Because
this?
they could only display 16 colours. Leave him alone.
Looks like me in the future, D.
Look, there's Leon.
You're right. You're 100% right.
Okay, look. I don't know who's going to play this or not, because I am about to spoil it. This game has one of the best endings of any Resident Evil, and I'm going to
That
spoil
one?
it for why. At the end, they do the swerve where you suddenly see that Leon has green blood and the actual Leon is dead. But it's,
I hate this game.
now, if you don't know what the word Gaiden means, it means side story.
Side story.
It's non-canon basically.
So wait, Leon died.
Yeah.
Yay!
But that's not the only time they killed Leon. What's that? What's the multiplayer game? Resident Evil Umbrella Corps or not Umbrella Corps? Operation Raccoon
Chronicles?
City.
Operation Raccoon City.
You they have a version of in that game where Leon can get killed in Resident Evil 2. Alternative history.
They also did that in the movies, but to be honest,
Can I find this game and put it on my channel just to annoy Cat?
I will find it. I'll give it to you.
subscribe
I'll give
forever.
it to you.
Right,
I'll put a
guys.
link.
Now,
I'll give it to you.
are there other things we should begin to
Yes,
wrap up
I
shortly?
would, I'd like to discuss the new cast for Harry Potter. They've revealed
Yes,
some more
let's
people.
bring it up.
Right, what's the deal with what's been going on? I've only heard rumours thus far of what the hell's been going on.
Well,
We
I
have
think
Jenna Ortega.
I think the biggest thing, guys, is actually not in what's it called? Not in the new TV series at all. It's the fact that young Malfoy is now playing old Malfoy in the stage play. Oh, not in the UK though. What a slap in the face!
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, not in the UK. I can't even find the photo.
I used to like you, Tom Felton. I used to like
I'm actually
you.
going to New York for that.
You're going all the way to New York just to see that.
Oh, him and Hugh Jackman.
Well, who's Hugh Jackman playing?
He's doing The Great Showman.
All right, okay. I was gonna say if Hugh Jackman as Harry Potter.
Hugh Jackman as Hagrid.
That's
Hugh
insane.
Jackman is Dumbledore.
He looks
Oh,
so
could you-
much like Lucius Malfoy, though.
Doesn't it kind of show that he really hasn't done much in his career, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know he was
He's
in the
done a lot
Planet of the
theatre,
Apes.
He was in.
He was in The Flash.
Yeah, the Flash. I was trying to remember which one it was.
though. Guys,
He
there's
didn't
a
have
a
really
great
good
character,
play,
though.
called
Was it-
222, A Ghost Story. And I think he was in the original cast of that. And I don't know if they're making a movie. So, I think he'll come back. But the rumours has been that he's going to be the one playing Malfoy's dad in the show, and he's not. They've announced it now. But I think people obviously knew that he was involved with something Harry Potter, and it's just that he's doing the play. Dev.
The greatest thing about him in The Flash, though, he played a villain called Alchemy, who gets his powers from the Philosopher's Stone.
I would thought it'd be more interesting if he was an employee of Potter Reborn.
Do you know what? Like, if I was gonna be, obviously, if they were gonna not give me the role over that, I would say to them, nah, let's not do that. It's like when you watch anything with a wrestler in from the 80s or 90s, and they'll turn up and they'll be like, I'm Chuck McGraw, and they'll have a ridiculous name, and then suddenly they'll be doing their signature wrestling moves, and it's like, we've got to get you to do this, and it's like, no, look, just let me do something different. Go on, Dev.
I think my favorite version of that, when they did that right, was Married with Children, where they had the Bundys and their cousin, King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I like that. That at least makes sense. But do you
They had
remember when
Vader in Boy Meets World.
they had who?
Vader in Boy Meets World.
Wow.
I remember the
Oh, yeah.
time feeling like it makes sense, but
Wait,
I don't
what?
remember it now. Vader?
Wait, what?
Not Darth
Vader.
Vader, the Vader wrestler.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, because
I
that would make more sense.
No, I mean, like, if they do it now, I think Darth Vader's in Fortnite, I believe, as an AI.
Fortnite is not legit canon shit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but
No, it isn't.
Not a
I
great
have
game.
Snoop Dogg teaming with Darth Vader, so yes, it is.
It's not.
But going back to the costume for the new Harry Potter, Draco is perfect.
Oh, hang on, just
do you wanna
before
hear
we
about
go,
the
hang
great
on,
game that I was
before,
playing?
just very quickly before, go on, bring up the shield. I was trying to find the exact moment. So here is Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Star Trek, and they literally just have him doing his wrestling moves. And
Oh my god,
I
yeah!
was trying to find the precise moment, because I think he even does like the people's eyebrow and stuff like this. And I think
How?
he does the rock bottom. Back in those
Oh yeah,
days,
it's got eyeballs actually.
all they would do is they'd have someone known for one thing, and it's like was it in Legends of Tomorrow? They had the two guys from Prison Break, and it's like the only reason the second one is in it is because the other one was in it, and they want to have them in scenes together and be like, hey, you're gonna break out in a rash if you do that, you know, and shitty lines like this.
Yeah. Like, there was one episode where the Flash was in prison
Yeah.
with Bill Goldberg, and they were suggesting they could contact Heatwave and Captain Cold to break him out. And they were like, no, they're busy.
Yeah, exactly. If I was one of these actors, I'd be like, just don't do that. Let me have a different character, for the love of God. Right? I tell this is a little story. I've definitely mentioned this before. I did a indie film a few years ago, and the character I auditioned for was called David. And when the credits for it came out and they put out like the cast list, they put David as himself, and I was like, I'm not playing myself. What's wrong with you? And I had to say no.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I had to tell them.
Although,
This character
when
isn't me.
although when they did Fresh Prince, the producer of the show actually asked Will Smith what his character wants to be, because he said, like, this is the name you'll know by your entire career. They actually asked Will Smith what your character wants to be, and he said, Will! And they're like, okay, fine.
Do you know what? Back in the day, that was so typical. Like,
Yeah.
that actors would play characters with the same first name as them. Like,
And when they were a bit as well, or comics or something, like Norm did the same thing, didn't he? Norm Macdonald.
Science-
Normal Donald.
Norma Don, yeah. But if
Seinfeld.
you look at British stuff, like, you'd see like the Carry On films or whatever. Sidney James would be playing Sidney this, and you'd have a character Kenneth this, and it's always these characters would have the same first name as them. Like the two Ronners and stuff like this. All that kind of era, they'd do it constantly. But now I'd want a completely separate character. This is why back in the day people would typecast so bad.
Nah.
I think that's because that was the actual era of celebrities, and then the celebrities playing the characters themselves is more enriching than the characters themselves. But now we're in a different decade of characters are better than celebrities. We don't really care about celebrities now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
well-
Dev, coming back to the Harry Potter casting.
Oh, so I just want to say, like, before everybody was worried about typecasting and stuff, now we have Deadpool playing Ryan Reynolds.
True. Every character is just Deadpool.
I think that he was doing that since the beginning,
Yeah.
before he became Deadpool.
With the Harry Potter casting, was it that they were complaining still about, like, because the main thing I saw was like the ethnicity stuff. Is that what it was?
I mean,
like,
people have kicked up a huge fuss, mostly about Snape, that a black actor is playing Snape, because it doesn't match the description, like in the book.
I think they just didn't get a more emo enough black actor.
Well, Adam Driver needs some help after Star Wars, so.
Yeah, well, I think that like the main talking points people say is that it opens itself up to the fact that he was bullied, that Hermione, I don't know what background she is.
Yeah, the mud stuff. That was an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting concept
but
when you think about it like that.
To the play, Hermione's always been played by a black actress. You know,
but this is Jenna Ortega.
Sorry. Well, the kid does look like Jenna Ortega, like you said.
Yeah.
Dev.
So as a refresher, I put the main cast in the Geek Battle Facebook chat just now.
Oh, good. Have you got what? Does that include the new ones?
No, just old ones as a refresher.
Okay, well, let me just quickly try to find.
Is it us?
It's what?
No.
Yes, it's
no.
The new cast, or we the new cast of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Wait, that me and Dave have to fight for the.
It was Vernon.
I know where I can find it. There's an account.
I got called Harry Potter the other day by a person that had thicker glasses than me.
And then you killed them. Right.
Yeah, it's like the one. Like,
okay, so
I did question it. I find it very strange.
This should have all of them. So let's have a look.
To be honest, like Harry Potter is one of those things where I saw the films. You know, like when you see kids and you see a new thing, it's like, okay, I'm that guy. But Harry Potter is one of those films, and I said, I'm that. I never said that to a Harry Potter film. I looked at all the characters and said, nope, I'm not like these characters.
Okay, so
it's true that the original ones are very predominantly white. I never thought about it until I saw the Sidemen on about it the other day. Like, it is a very predominantly white school.
Yeah. Okay, so
I never
let's bring. Oh, I don't need shield for this. So this is the new Molly Weasley.
Isn't she from IT Crowd?
This is.
Why is
they made the step on hot? They made the step on hot.
Well, but they'll dress her up. Like, no one's gonna have their headshot and say, "I want to look like that," right? So of course their headshot's gonna look like this. This is the new Vernon.
Oh my God! They made the step down on as well.
Yeah.
Okay, this
I'm
is
guessing
Lavender.
this is going to be from when they're young.
okay?
Lavender.
Lavender Bloom.
This is.
Pavati.
Yeah. Who have we got here?
Who's that guy?
That's Seamus Finnegan, the one who blows everything up.
But
Yeah,
okay, here's Lucius Malfoy.
No.
Well, they'll give him
no.
a wig.
No. Maybe.
Yeah, give him a wig in that.
Oh my God! I didn't even realize there was a new Malfoy.
I think
fine.
it fits.
Yeah, that makes sense. This all makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that might be it. Right. But yeah.
I mean, they all seem fine. Nothing seemed egregious to me at all.
What?
The uncle and the aunt are too attractive.
Well, they have to look like regular people.
They could put a fat suit on the guy.
They can't exactly look like the twits from Roald Dahl's book, can they?
I'm still trying to process the fact that the girl.
What are you talking about?
I'm still trying to process the fact that Cat Grant from the new Superman movie will be playing Tony Chopper, the reindeer from One Piece. The girl who's playing Cat Grant
Dave, are
in
you
the new
squeaking
Superman
your
movie.
duck? I know that's a weird question if you're not. I just keep hearing this noise.
Oh, it is me. That's my bad. That is me. It's weird. It is my little. It is my stress toy as well. So you know.
You do you. It's all good.
This is what I do now to channel my nerd rage.
That's what I suppose.
So I don't. So you'll just see when Cap's talking about the Watcher and you know and anything Devil May Cry. I'm trying not to say it. I'll just be there going.
I do what.
You know
guys,
the weird thing?
You go on, quick.
Do you want to know what's wounding
Yeah.
for my geekness over the last week or week and a half? Is that by being 34 and making the mistake of sleeping slightly wrong, I messed up my shoulder. I got a trapped nerve or something, and I can't play games properly without it hurting my hand at the moment. So I'm playing like chill games.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Police Simulator at the moment, and it's so cool.
I'll stop you. I will put cuffs on you. Oh wait, I can't. My gamer's claw is inhibiting me.
Man,
Right,
trying to play
guys,
Doom is impossible. Double tapping in that, it can't be
You
done.
can always
Yeah.
use the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. Now, we're
no,
gonna have to
you can't be
begin to
gaming with a
wrap
mouse
things
and
up here,
keyboard.
guys. So, if you have any geeky recommendations for the people, do let them be known. I'm going to quickly check to see if there's not any late breaking news. Well, I'm sure there's something.
Here on breaking news.
Yowzers.
I mean, a good recommendation. I was watching Severance over the last week just because I accidentally signed up to Apple TV and didn't mean to, so I watched Severance.
I think that's how most people have seen that show.
It's bloody
I
anything
think
on there,
that's
isn't
meant
it?
to be the best show on Apple TV, isn't it?
Bloody anything on there, man, that I could find.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with Bear, I believe. Bear, Severance, these have been
Yeah,
getting a lot of
yeah.
hype. Although none of the geeks have seen that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's find out where we can find everyone. Dave, where can people find you?
You can find me here on Geek Battle, Xstreamed on various shows. So check out my YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming, where you saw some gameplay in that. You can check out my Let's Plays and live streams that I do on the gaming channel. We have Terminator Resistance going on my channel at the moment, so please go and check that out. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I do a terrible Arnold impression. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays and Tuesdays as well. And my geeky recommendation is go check out a trailer for a game. It's a vampire medieval game. It's called Born of the... What was it? Blood of the Dawnwalker. Yeah, it's a vampire medieval game, so please go and check that out. And also... No, I got another one. There's one called God Save Birmingham as well, which is medieval times, but with zombies. So go and check that out.
Yeah, Dave, the Dawnbreaker was actually made by the creators who did The Witcher 3. I shouted there.
Okay. And?
That's just, I had to mention The Witcher.
I'm just letting you know.
And Dave hasn't put up The Witcher thing.
Oh shit! I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
Wait! I haven't had to get The Witcher up in a while. There we go. Boom. Right.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay, KD, where can the people find you?
Every Friday, brand new episode on the KD Comedy Podcast of the Squishy Logic, covering true crime, mysterious events, any interesting shit, a specific one each week we go on there. Or go on over to KD Comedy Podcast on Rumble. We stream them live on there whenever we do them, normally a couple a week. And yeah, go and look at them.
Fab. Dev.
My geeky recommendation. You know what? Before that, I have breaking news. Apparently, the Russo brothers are now doing Hercules.
Oh,
Live action.
Nerd rage.
that's the one I've been waiting for.
Oh.
Kate, it won't be good.
Nerd Rage!
There you go.
How's it come down to it that I've stopped activating Nerd Rage?
And,
You've got a duck.
my-
You've got a duck. You know.
I've got a duck now.
You say they won't be
Right.
good, but they're full on just carbon copies of the originals. Like Lion King, if you like Lion King, or if you like Aladdin, the new ones, you'll love them because they're just the same.
No, they won't be. They couldn't even get Lilo and Stitch, frankly.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. Is it
They
not
did
good?
till the end.
No, it's bad.
Ah,
Bad.
Remember the wholesome and kind and loving message that Lilo and Stitch, the animated film, have? Right, flush that down the toilet with your hopes and dreams, and then you'll get the ending of Lilo and Stitch.
Right. On that note,
Birds of Death or something.
Kat, Cap.
You can find me on SWAT Teams, or I sing a dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And there's a Father's Day sketch of Mufasa and Scar. Go check it out. It's Nuka's Father's Day. And my recommendation, yeah, go watch the new Hulu Predator movie. It's really good. I really enjoy it.
Okay, my name is David Kostanski. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Kostanski. Spelt P-U-S-T-A-N-S. Oh, you can't see it. A-S-K-Y. But you won't be able to see this either then. I have a Marty McFly duck. Oh, well, so check that out. Yeah.
It's spending out.
Oh, sheesh, quack, quack.
Indeed.
Sheesh,
Now,
quack.
my geeky recommendation this week is... I don't know, I don't have one. Right, I've been so busy with other stuff. Now, anyway, with that, until next time, stay safe. Always stay extremed. And ciao for now. Boom. And...